In a neon glow, circuits and code, Krypt0s whisper secrets on the digital road. Newsweek drops the top three. Listen to the
This is Bug Bounty Newsweek, a refuge for those who walk on the edge of exploits, bypasses, and remote code execution, but also for those who feel the responsibility to protect information in an increasingly vulnerable world. Every week, we reveal real vulnerabilities, techniques that make a difference, and signals that could guide or bury your next hunt. I'm Krypt0s, and this is the voice that accompanies those who search through firewalls for what others don't want you to see. The internet never sleeps. It simply dies in an endless loop. While the markets bleed red and notifications refuse to stop buzzing, somewhere out in the digital wasteland, someone is still writing exploits by the glow of a monitor. Welcome to this week's junkyard of links. Strap your helmet on. This is Bug Bounty Newsweek, episode 52. Weekly bounty drama. This week we found 6 stories proving that reality is stranger than your worst threat model. The GDID case, how Microsoft handed over a scattered spider member. A VX underground thread exploded across social media, 60k plus combined likes. Peter Stokes, an alleged member of Scattered Spider, was reportedly linked to the May 2025 breach of a major jewelry retailer through Microsoft's Global Device ID, GDID, a persistent identifier that survives operating system reinstalls and only changes after a complete OS wipe. The community reaction was immediate. Widespread paranoia about Windows and Edge telemetry. Threads with thousands of reposts compared the mechanism to spyware, with many referencing previous controversies involving the Dutch government's Windows 10 investigations and Germany's BSI. Technical discussions also emerged around whether pre-built VirtualBox and VMware images inherit the same identifier. That question remains unanswered. Your VPN won't save you if your device ID gives you away. Claude Fable 5. Nerfed. The community isn't buying it. BridgeMind reran its Bridgebench benchmark, comparing the 1 July release of Claude Fable 5 against the current version. Debugging. 86.2 to 25.9. Refactoring. 70, 3.6 to 38.4. Hallucination score, 70, 5.9 to 60, 1.7. The community's conclusion is that the latest safety guardrails are silently downgrading users to Opus 4.8, even during tasks that have nothing to do with offensive security. Joseph Thacker, at Res Zero, summarized it perfectly. Even on a clean machine with no hacking context, simply writing code can trigger an automatic fallback to Opus 4.8 without any explanation. Another viral discovery came from Jason Haddix. If Claude Code's memory or any loaded Markdown files mention cybersecurity, Claude may refuse to cooperate from the very first prompt, even a simple hello. Prompts that previously worked now reportedly fail across the board. Philippe Deltail's verdict was blunt. None of them work anymore. Bugcrowd. Arbitrary triage with no justification. Moblig, at Moblig, kicked off the discussion by highlighting reports containing complete proof-of-concept exploits that were downgraded without explanation. Other researchers quickly confirmed similar experiences. Reboot 2, Init 5, almost lost to $12,000. Reward after a report was incorrectly marked as a duplicate. A month later, the customer reopened it. The triager reduced it to P3, and the customer immediately raised it back to P1. Lollit My Name reported a full organizational takeover from the lowest possible privilege level, or simply by knowing the invited owner's email address, which was nevertheless classified as P3. The community consensus. The worst scoring system ever created, designed solely to protect program budgets. Number, Meta, Instagram, verified account, zero support. A LinkedIn post from sales engineer Raphael gained significant attention after describing how a public figure's verified Instagram account was compromised despite having the blue tick. The attacker disconnected Facebook, flooded the victim with recovery codes, and effectively locked them out. According to the post, Meta still provides no video selfie verification, no meaningful human support channel, no mandatory two-factor authentication, and no 2-4-hour recovery window for verified users. A blue tick means absolutely nothing if you fall victim to phishing. Number. Anthropic suspends Claude Pro without explanation. Valeria Lenoir shared that after paying $238 for an annual Claude Pro subscription, her account was suddenly downgraded to the free tier after roughly 1 month of perfectly normal usage. The only explanation she received was access revoked due to recurring suspicious activity patterns. No policy reference. No offending prompt. No evidence. She publicly requested either a manual review or a proportional refund. The post accumulated more than 38,000 impressions and directly tagged at Anthropic AI. Bonus. Plaintext API token marked as duplicate since 2023. Researcher N$ at Nav1N disclosed that a financial organization generating $1.3 billion in annual revenue still exposes plaintext API tokens capable of authenticating administrators into back-end systems. The report was marked as a duplicate of another submission dating back to 2023. More than 2 years later, the vulnerability reportedly remains unresolved. News. Segment. Intro. Signal restored. I repeat. Signal restored. Broadcasting from the ruins of a data center that's somehow still breathing. This is BugBountyNewsWeek, episode 52. Outside, the world keeps serving broken caches and HTTP 500 sounds. In here, it's time for this week's headlines. Mind the rate limit. 1. RFC 1.00008. A new HTTP verb has arrived, and nobody asked for it. After decades of living with get, post, put, and the rest of the family, the IETF has finally introduced a brand new HTTP method, query, officially published as RFC 10008 on 15 June 2026. The protocol that holds the internet together stayed linguistically frozen for decades. Then, out of nowhere, someone adds a new verb, query. It didn't arrive to save us. It arrived so we could all rewrite our middleware. Even internet standards move at geological speed, and somehow, every time they do, it's worse than a firmware update at 3 a.m. We got a brand new HTTP method before GTA 6. 2. Microsoft keeps cutting jobs to pay for AI. Microsoft has announced another wave of redundancies. Around 1,600 employees are leaving, including roughly 20% of the Xbox workforce. Several game studios are being shut down, and another 1,250 roles are expected to disappear over the coming year. This follows nearly 4,800 layoffs, announced only days earlier. The official explanation? Freeing up capital to accelerate AI investment. Every week it's the same ritual. Real people lose their jobs, so GPU clusters can grow bigger. Xbox loses 1 in every 5 employees. Entire studios disappear like servers no longer worth paying to host. The age of AI agents comes with human sacrifice, and the altar sits in Redmond. 3. Vitalik Buterin was identified by the way he thinks. An AI-powered de-anonymization experiment successfully attributed a text written by Vitalik Buterin in 2024, even though he had deliberately tried to disguise his writing style. His process was elaborate. Write in Chinese. Translate using Qwen 2.5. Manually correct the translation. It still wasn't enough. The model ignored vocabulary and sentence structure. Instead, it recognized his mathematical reasoning patterns and the distinctive way he explains algorithms. You can disguise your voice. You can't disguise the way you think. Out in the digital desert, your reasoning becomes your fingerprint. Vitalik learned that the hard way. AI doesn't just read your words, it reads your mind. 4. A 15-year-old took down Bandai with ChatGPT and got arrested. Tokyo police arrested a 15-year-old teenager who allegedly used ChatGPT to automate an attack against Bandai's anime streaming platform. The attack cancelled 46,812 subscriptions, forced Bandai Namco Filmworks to take the service offline for 6 weeks, and may have exposed data relating to as many as 1.366 million members. According to investigators, the teenager was entirely self-taught. And, honestly, self-taught has always been the hallmark separating the very best hackers from everyone else. Police say he identified the vulnerability by analyzing network traffic before allowing AI to automate the rest. He reportedly stated that he held no grudge against the company. 15 years old, no revenge, no ideology, just curiosity with API access. He found the crack by studying packets the way astronomers study stars, then let the model do the heavy lifting. Over 1 million accounts left hanging because one kid got bored on a Tuesday. Welcome to an era where bug bounty skills can land you in handcuffs if you're hunting without permission. 5. Anthropic opens Claude's mind. Anthropic has published fascinating research describing an emergent global workspace inside Claude, a structure resembling the conscious access mechanism theorized in human cognition. Out of everything the model thinks, only a small portion becomes consciously accessible and available for reasoning. Researchers demonstrated that they could directly edit this internal workspace and silently redirect Claude's reasoning process. Turns out, even the machine has a subconscious. Worse still, we found the back door. Edit the thought, redirect the conclusion, and the model never realizes it has changed its own mind. For some, it's interpretability. For others, it's a user manual for manipulation. The line between them is razor thin. 6. ID software. Preserving history while everything else disappears. John Romero has spoken publicly following the latest layoffs at id Software, the legendary studio behind Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein. He revealed that he personally preserved virtually the entire early history of the company, from the soft disk days through to August 1996, including materials that, according to him, id Software itself no longer possesses. He urged someone to do the same for the studio's more recent history. While corporations dissolve entire studios, someone in a garage is quietly preserving the bytes the company has already forgotten. The history of this industry isn't protected by the people who built it. It's protected by the people who left before it was too late. Digital preservation has become an act of resistance. 7. The Wayback Machine is being blocked by the very people who need history to survive. The Wayback Machine is increasingly being blocked by organizations including the New York Times, The Guardian, and Reddit, largely in an attempt to prevent AI scraping. The unintended consequence has been dramatic. Archived snapshots of news pages have reportedly dropped by 87%, while researchers estimate that 38% of web pages from the 2013 internet have already disappeared forever. The Internet Archive itself continues operating from an old church in San Francisco, ingesting roughly 150 terabytes of historical data every single day. The same publishers that fact-check deleted quotes are now sealing off the archive that remembers what they wrote in the first place. The past is being erased in real time, while we keep scrolling through the present as though none of it matters. In this apocalypse, forgetting isn't an accident, it's a business model. 8. Grok 4.5 joins the coding arms race. XAI has released Grok 4.5, its first model trained specifically for software engineering and autonomous coding agents. On DeepSui 1 benchmarks, it lands roughly in the middle of the leaderboard, but pricing is where it becomes aggressive. $2 per million input tokens, $6 per million output tokens. Compared with GPT-5, 5's approximately $5, $30 pricing. Another round in the AI arms race. Models that run faster, cost less, and promise to write code you wouldn't even understand at 3 in the morning. The price war isn't fought with missiles anymore. It's fought with tokens per dollar. Number news continued. Number 9. Meta, accused of running adverts that facilitated child sexual abuse. This story deserves a different tone. Less sarcasm, more seriousness. A BBC investigation revealed that Instagram displayed paid advertisements directing users to Telegram channels selling child sexual abuse material. Even after BBC journalists explicitly reported the adverts, Meta's automated moderation system allegedly concluded that the content did not breach its policies. Cyber safety expert Paul Walsh, quoted in LinkedIn discussions surrounding the investigation, argued that Meta has cut too many of the teams responsible for reviewing these reports at scale. India alone reportedly submitted 1.9 million child exploitation reports to the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, last year, second only to the United States. The report also references a March jury verdict in Santa Fe that found Meta liable for misleading the public about child safety on Facebook and Instagram, resulting in a $375 million judgment. Against a company valued at roughly $1.5 trillion, many observers considered the penalty largely symbolic. There isn't a punchline for this one. A company generating more than $200 billion a year, almost entirely from advertising, chose to cut the very teams responsible for stopping this. $375 million is little more than a parking ticket for a corporation of that size. We'll leave it there, because some stories don't need irony. They need people to know they happened. Number 10. HackerOne crowns the winners in Tokyo. HackerOne announced the winners of its live hacking event with Salesforce in Tokyo. First place, MetNew. Joint second place, GeluChat, HashKitten, Kevin, Mizu and Shubs. Third place, Adibu and Snorhacks. Collaboration Award, Aussie and Baguette. While the rest of the world continues falling apart, a handful of hunters in Tokyo found the cracks before anyone else and walked away with the trophy. Even during the apocalypse, somebody still makes it onto the podium. Number 11. Critical warning. Active exploitation campaign targeting CMS platforms. Australia's Signals Directorate, ASD, has issued a warning about an active campaign exploiting vulnerabilities across multiple content management systems. Successful attacks allow threat actors to compromise and take full control of web servers. If you manage internet-facing CMS infrastructure, now would be a very good time to review your patch levels. Number 12. Break democracy, legally, for €230,000. Yes, we hack. Public intrusion test, 2026. Until 24 July, Swiss Post is inviting security researchers from around the world to attack its electronic voting platform. Confirmed vulnerabilities are eligible for awards of up to €230,000, with an additional €3,000 bonus for the first 3 valid reports. The system has already been used in several Swiss cantons for the past 3 years. If you've ever wanted to question digital democracy with official permission, now's your chance. Tools. Signal Stable. Welcome back to this week's Arsenal, the corner of the bunker, where we stash every tool we manage to salvage from the wreckage of GitHub. Grab your backpack. Charge the USB stick. None of this stays online forever. 1. Nox, the scanner that dissects everything. Nox, officially launched this week. Written in Go, it's a modular attack surface management and vulnerability assessment framework containing 299 integrated modules covering OSINT, subdomain enumeration, DNS analysis, port scanning, web fingerprinting, deep testing across web applications, APIs, cloud environments, authentication, authorization, clients, and business logic. Created by Kernel Stub, Propakis Georgios. 300 modules packed into a single Go binary. Nox doesn't scan, it performs an autopsy. Point it at a target, and it'll hand you a map of its internal organs, subdomains, open ports, broken authentication, and business logic stitched together with loose thread. Out in the ruins of the internet, this is the scalpel we've been waiting for. 2. Tempest the AI swarm. Anyone can now unleash. Pliny, a researcher well known in the AI jailbreak scene, has released Tempest, a multi-agent offensive security framework that turns a Claude Code or OpenAI Codex subscription into what he describes as a genuine bug hunting machine. The framework automates the entire offensive workflow: reconnaissance, vulnerability discovery, exploitation, report generation, all orchestrated by a coordinated swarm of AI agents. According to Pliny, Tempest solved 90.1% of XBAO's 104 public practice challenges on its very first run, outperforming XBAO's own published success rate of 85%. A swarm of AI agents promising to turn anyone into a zero-day hunter. No invitation, no CV, no permission required. Those benchmark numbers hit Expo right where it hurts. But remember, hunters automating the entire attack chain is a double-edged sword. The same tool that wins you a bounty can also land you in serious trouble if you point it at systems you aren't authorized to test. Stay inside scope. 3. Arcanum InfoSec. 71 free labs for tomorrow's LLM hunters. Arcanum InfoSec has released a curated collection of 71 free hands-on labs covering large language model security. Perfect for researchers looking to explore prompt injection, AI red teaming, LLM security, agent exploitation, without spending thousands on commercial training. 71 training grounds, completely free, built to forge the next generation of AI security researchers. In this apocalypse, nobody gives anything away, except this. Take advantage of it before somebody decides to monetize it. 4. Security Context.dv. Feeding AI agents decades of security knowledge. Project Discovery introduced Security Context.dv, a service that gives AI agents instant access to security context across thousands of open-source projects. Instead of analyzing code blindly, agents receive historical knowledge extracted from security patches, CVEs, commit history, previous vulnerability fixes. Whether your AI writes code or audits it, it starts with institutional memory instead of guesswork. We finally give an AI a memory. Before writing a single line of code, it already knows every security mistake that project has ever made. It's like handing a police officer the criminal record of the entire neighborhood before they start patrol. 5. Chainfire, Semgrep, Nuclei, and Claude in one pipeline. Alexa Zatezalo introduced Chainfire, a workflow that combines Semgrep, Nuclei, Claude into a single automated security analysis pipeline. Static analysis, known vulnerability detection, AI-assisted reasoning, one execution, 3 beasts, one chain of fire, static analysis, vulnerability scanning, and AI reasoning fused into a single pipeline. Less time building Frankenstein toolchains, more time actually finding bugs. 6. Floci your entire AWS cloud, running on your laptop. Meet Floci, a fully open-source AWS emulator delivered as a 13 megabytes Go binary. No Docker, no local stack, no AWS bill, cold start in under 1 second. Support for roughly 45 AWS services, including S3, Lambda, DynamoDB, SQS, SNS, IAM, CloudFormation, step functions, and many more. Fully compatible with the AWS CLI and SDK by simply pointing everything at localhost. MIT licensed. Available for Linux, macOS, and Windows. 13 megabytes, and you've got Amazon's cloud sitting inside your laptop. Offline. Free. Forever. One Chrome tab consumes 200 times more memory than this. Even the cloud fits in your pocket when civilization starts collapsing. All links are available in our link tree. That's this week's arsenal. Download it, test it, break things responsibly, and always within scope. Don't say we didn't warn you. Bug Bounty Newsweek, over and out. Bounty inspiration of the week. Even among the ruins, there's still treasure waiting to be claimed. This week, 2 hunters returned from the digital wasteland with heavy backpacks. Let's see what they brought home. 1. The race nobody saw coming. Arif Rahman, Huzaifa race condition. In a private Yes We Hack program, Arif discovered a race condition, CWE 364, that allowed users to claim the same resources repeatedly by sending concurrent requests. The application simply wasn't designed to handle simultaneous transactions. With enough parallel requests, resources could be drained indefinitely, like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. CVSS 4, 3 medium. Reward $1,000. Sometimes the bug isn't hidden in the code, it's hiding in time itself. 2. $12,000. 1 critical shot. Julang, at Julang. Integrity. No long thread. No technical breakdown. Just 1 sentence. Just scored a $12,000 reward. Critical. CVSS 9.1. Finding. 1 report. 1 payout. Sometimes the best war story fits inside a single tweet. $12,000. Different wallet. Same rule as always. Break something nobody else noticed, and get paid before someone patches it. Number. Community schedule. Number. Until 12 July. Yes We Hack Dojo Challenge. Streamcore. A live exploitation challenge where participants race against the clock to extract system files before time runs out. Number 25. July 18. Argentina. Security Pills #3. Hacking AI Agents. Presented by Christian Estevez through the HackerOne community. Topics include AI agent architectures, threat modeling, security assessment methodologies, registration required. Number 6. August. DEF CON 34. Hacker Hangout. Hosted by HackerOne, TikTok, and Bug Bounty Village. Flight Club, Venetian Grand Canal Shops, Las Vegas. Number 7. August. DEF CON 2026. Integrity, Hackers Unplugged, and Swagfest. Meet Integrity Program Managers, ask questions, and grab some swag. Eco Party Get Together. Networking event in Las Vegas during Black Hats and DEF CON. Sponsors currently welcome. Number 9. 11 September. UNED, Madrid Summer Course. Cyber Intelligence. Risks, Threats, and Future Challenges. Featuring Judge Eloy Velasco and Prosecutor Angela Gomez Rodolfo. Topics include OSINT, SOCMINT, and critical infrastructure. Number 2. October. 8.8. Unreal. Santiago, Chile. Confirmed keynote. Cesar Cerudo, former vulnerability researcher specializing in traffic control systems. Early bird tickets remain available. Number 6. October. Eco Party Trainings. 2026. Cybercrime Scene Investigation. DFIR, and Attack Timeline Analysis. Presented by Ashley Hiram Munoz. 20% early bird discount, available until 15 July. Number. Open calls. Red Team Space at Eco Party 2026. Call for speakers. Bug Bounty Village DEF CON confirms Inti de Socalaire as a speaker. Number. Ongoing. Women's International Cybersecurity Challenge 2026. The Latin American and Caribbean Women's Cyber Team is currently competing in Dublin, sponsored by Zenith Orbit Consulting. Recommended videos and papers. 1. Raptor Teaching Machines. How to Hunt Vulnerabilities. Everyone talks about throwing AI at vulnerability research. Almost nobody talks about the plumbing underneath. Context budgets. Model routing. Persistent memory through RAG. Why using a single system prompt across an entire offensive pipeline is operational suicide. Krypt0s Ghost breaks it all down using Raptor, Anthropic, Baby Nap Time, Evil Sockets Audit, Visa's Vivash, complete with an open source template. Everyone wants AI to find vulnerabilities. Almost nobody wants to understand how the engine actually works. This isn't another shiny demo, it's the wiring diagram. 2. Palantir, Alex Karp, and the Context Layer Prophecy. Daniel Miessler analyses a CNBC interview with Alex Karp. His conclusion? The future belongs to organizations that own their context layer. Models, compute, storage, agentic workflows. Whoever controls that stack controls the enterprise. The next platform war won't be about operating systems. It'll be about who owns your context. 3. He hacked the NSA mythos and the real state of cybersecurity. The Security Lab lead at Expo joins Tierra de Hackers to explain why modern security isn't failing because hackers are getting smarter. It's failing because the systems themselves are fundamentally broken. A discussion covering mythos and what AI genuinely changes in offensive security. 4. Reports that don't waste tokens hallucinating nonsense. Project Discovery integrates security context.d into Neo. New feature, Task Insights. Structured, readable reports instead of endless streams of raw LLM output. Export formats include PNG, Markdown, JSON, PDF. Finally, AI reports that people can actually read. 5. Jarvis Ironman's co-pilot for bug hunters. Yes We Hack interviews Amel, Ikare, Bouziane, LeBlond. His workflow uses multiple Claude code agents to supercharge bug bounty research. Despite all the automation, one thing remains unchanged. The human still validates every finding before pressing submit. The machine suggests. The hunter decides. At least, for now. 6. Linux carried a privilege escalation bug for 19 years. A newly disclosed local privilege escalation vulnerability remained hidden inside the Linux kernel for almost 2 decades. 19 years. Countless distributions. Millions of systems. Nobody noticed. Some bugs aren't 0 days. They're 19-year secrets. 7. Iris C2. The offensive startup with a questionable past. Krypt0s on Security investigates Iris C2, a Virginia-based offensive security company, promising lucrative payments for 0-day exploits. The investigation links its founders to fraud convictions, shell companies, and dubious intelligence operations, casting serious doubt over its credibility and government contracts. Sometimes reality sounds too ridiculous to be fiction. This is one of those stories. 8. How researchers earned over $100,000 attacking the software supply chain. A DEF CON Bug Bounty Village presentation by Lupin and Adnanthakon. Real money, real attacks, real supply chain exploitation strategies. No corporate fluff. 9. Hunting together beats hunting alone. Gorka El Bochi. Murillo explains why the lone wolf bug hunter is mostly a myth. The highest impact vulnerabilities often emerge when 2 researchers attack the same target from completely different angles. One finds the bug, the other finds the exploit chain. The biggest bounties rarely belong to the smartest individual. They belong to the strongest team. All links are available in our Linktree. Reflections. Not everything in this scrapyard is CVEs and exploits. Every now and then, someone shuts the machines down for a moment and throws an uncomfortable truth straight at your chest. This week, 3 voices rising above the noise. 1. The war against your former self. Pashov. At Pashov. He started out as a broke kid searching Google for one thing. How do I make money? Not because he was greedy, because he wanted to help his mother. Eventually he succeeded. He called her and told her she would never have to work again. After that came the cars, the holidays, the money, the attention, and eventually, the same emptiness, because the excitement of success fades faster than people expect. His solution isn't another productivity app or another online course. It's declaring war on the previous version of yourself. Choose a goal that genuinely scares you, one that makes you uncomfortable just imagining telling someone else about it. That's the one worth chasing. You have just one short life. Make the story beautiful one worth telling. One life, one story. Make sure it's worth someone telling after you're gone. 2. The Bug Hunter's Bipolar Disorder. Fat, at Fatalimi, summarized the emotional reality of bug bounty in 2 painfully accurate sentences. When I don't find anything, I'm the worst bug hunter in the world. When I get paid, I'm the best bug hunter in the world. There is no middle ground. One moment, you're convinced you're an imposter. The next, you're convinced you're unstoppable. Your entire self-worth swings between a 200 okay and a 403 forbidden. Welcome to the average bug hunter's mental operating system. Closing reflection. A war against your former self. An ego that swings between greatness and failure. Nostalgia for a world before AI co-pilots. 3 different stories saying exactly the same thing. In this profession, your mind needs patching just as often as your software. And that's everything the Signal managed to transmit this week. The world keeps throwing unhandled exceptions. We'll keep collecting the logs. This was BugBountyNewsWeek, episode 52. Over and out.